So this last section, we talked about creating a model from SketchUp, saving it away, creating a SketchUp file, creating a collada file, flipping it over, getting a left and a right. Now we're going to show you how to get it and use it in LandMentor. This is the 2D model we use for design, and we have our side setbacks for the design phase of the neighborhood, and we have that in the site plan, and we need to prepare it the same perimeter to have the collada file embedded in it. So what we're going to do is go into edit and then delete all elements by type, and we're going to just delete the surfaces. And now we've got no surfaces, and what we really want is this perimeter here. If it's a rectangular building, you'll need to identify the front, so we would recommend leaving a little bit of the driveway so you know what's the front or the rear, but this is kind of an odd shaped building, so it'll be kind of obvious when we bring in the 3D model. And you'll want to get rid of the layers that you don't want on the perimeter. So for example, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say delete all elements by layer, and I'm going to take out 4 and 5, everything I moved to the right except for 4 and 5, which is my building and my walks. And it ends up with a lot of data and a lot of points that you won't need. And then do one more step, and that would be connect all unsplit active lines so that these are solid lines. And then if I do edit and then delete unused points, you'll see it got rid of 267 points. So now we have a perimeter that we want to put on a layer that's unique that won't be seen. So what we're going to do is change elements on a layer 4 and 5, and I'm going to move them to a layer that I use not too often, 18, or you might want to make a layer, and now everything is kind of light. So I'm going to save that now as just junk, or some name that is temporary. And then I'm going to create a model, and you want to create a very unique name. So that one was like Franklin, that model. So I'm going to say Frank, F-R-A-N-K, and then maybe a capital L for left. Hit OK. And then I'm going to call up the SketchUp model that we saved. So that was the SketchUp garage left patio home, and it's going to extract those points and pancake them as if it's on a flat surface. It's going to verify the width and the depth of the home, the height and the width. So the width comes first, then the height. Then you hit submit, and it's going to ask if you want to place it on the plan, and hit OK. You should see a black box. If you don't, there's something wrong with the SketchUp model, and you'll need to redo it and redo the collada. So we've got a roof overhang, and I'm going to just kind of center it. Left button to set it, and hit escape. Don't hit the left button twice. Save as, and then it would be a 3D Franklin 3-car GL, garage left. So you know it's a 3D of the Franklin and left. Then what you'll do is open a new LandMentor file, recall junk. Remember, we saved that unit away. I'll hit minus to get it on the screen so you can see it, and I'll hit mirror site and submit, minus again to get it on the screen, and you'll see it's flipped the other way. That means that you don't have to go through all that process again because you saved it away as junk for the right side. Then you'll do a create model, again Frank, and then a garage right, Frank R. So it's a unique name, something you haven't used before. It's very important because this software will look at the naming scheme and then call up that right side unit. And you're looking for the .dae file. That will come up now on the right side, submit, put it on the plan, and then hit OK, and then escape, file, save as, Franklin, and just turn the L to a right. Now you've got the 3D model saved. So what you've done is you created a SketchUp model, saved it away as a .dae, created a perimeter, brought the DAE and merged it into a LandMentor format, because you're always bringing in LandMentor files. So that .dae is brought in as LandMentor, and that gives it a perimeter to overlay on top of your site plan. So here we have the 3D already compiled on the site plan, and we just isolated the layers and then compiled the 3D, so we have a 3D base already. And you could turn on all the layers or color fills if you wanted, or not. It depends. So Shift Q turns those on and off. It might be easier for you to overlay without all the colors. So I'm going to call up the 3D Franklin, and if we take a look at it, they're garage rights. And when we call it up, it'll be graphic only, and you'll be able to overlay the roof line and that light perimeter. These were slightly modified, as you could see on the plan, but we'll ignore that for now. And then the garage left is next to it. So we'll call that up and then graphic only and lay that one out. And if you have the bearings on the plan, it helps get the angle right, and you'll notice that on the upper right screen as I move this, the angle shown. And if you leave the lot lines with the bearings on, it's a little bit of a help. So you'll lay them around on your plan and then hit escape, and then you'll view it on occasion to make sure that the units are indeed placed right and they look about right on the plan. And they were changed a little bit as we went along, so that the garage was moved over a little bit, and that's where that difference comes in. And then this is natural ground, so you'll want to take and then make sure as you place these on that your interior walls were painted right, because you'll be able to see through the walls if they weren't painted right, and because it's important to get in the unit and then look outside just to make sure that you did that right. You don't want to discover that later on after you've set too many of these models. And then see how it looks like on the ground, if there's walkouts, the walkout levels, and then before you go on too much. There's another little hint that I'll give you, and that is to call up LandMentor, and in your directory there is a test grid. And when you pull up the test grid, before you put it in the site plan, you can then call up your model, is call up before you put it in the plan, and these are 20-foot squares, so you can make sure that they line up okay, and line them up on the squares before you bring it in the model, then view it and make sure they're lined up okay. And that's what this test grid is for. The last part of these instructions is how to go from LandMentor back into SketchUp with an entire site plan. So if we take a look at the site plan and view it in LandMentor, you can see it's a fairly nice looking drawing, and most of what you see came right from SketchUp. So there's a lot of detail here, and we need to get all of this back into SketchUp. So you want to bring your site in, get a 3D view, hit escape, and then under your VR3D you want to export this as a collada file. And it's going to default putting everything into one folder. And that's what you should use. And then hit submit. And anywhere from a few seconds to a few minutes, like in this one that would be very complex, it'll say the DAE is written. And then what you'll do is you'll load up your SketchUp, and then you'll import, and it will be in a directory with the same file name, and you'll find the .dae file. You'll open that up and it will import it. Now on a very large complex file like this, it could take a few minutes. You might see something that comes up that says like missing textures. That's okay. And then what you want to do is you'll wait a few seconds. You'll just take that location and then hit the left button on your mouse. Now this is a very, very big complex job. And then you'll see it appear. And it's going to appear somewhere on your screen. So what you want to do is bring it more towards your reference point so it's not so far off. Then what you want to probably do is get rid of that little reference guy. We don't need that. And then you'll take a look at the model, and then view. You want to turn the edge profiles off and view the edge style edges off. And things that are a different color, like these trees, what you could do is go into, say some of that stuff didn't go through, is hold the Alt down, get your eyedropper, and then edit, and then you can edit those colors how you want. And so like these magenta colors here, take that color wheel, and then you could turn it however you want with those colors. And there's some things that might not come through, but you can see the look is much better in LandMentor than it is in SketchUp, and plus it's a lot easier to go into the buildings and you know, take a look around. So it's more basic and almost cartoonish in SketchUp, but the elevations of the ground will come through and most everything will come through okay. It's just that there's a reason that you're going to use LandMentor a little bit more because of the presentation capability. And some of these areas here, these will be individual groups, so if you explode them, you can edit them or take some things out, move them about. So if you explode the whole model, then these will be, again, individual groups, and then you can do some editing. Rooftops, things like that. Anything you don't like. And that's how you get it from LandMentor to SketchUp, and then save that away and give it to wherever you want.